Hello there. Congratulations on the sale of your home. It sounds like we're now pending, which means we're in escrow, which means you've accepted an offer. That's really exciting, and I just wanted to go over what's next. Okay, so part of the video series here where you are now under contract. So first things first, you should be getting an email from our operations manager going over some of the timelines. You know, when the inspection period is over, when is closing going to happen? Okay. And kind of just go over some of the things that you should expect. So sales agreement goes to the title company to open up escrow, okay? Our preferred escrow officer is Kimberly Allen, and with WFG, that may be different depending on if the buyer decided to change it or if you asked us to change it. But for the most part, it usually is Kimberly Allen with WFG. She's phenomenal. And next things that's going to happen is that you'll be contacted by us or maybe even the buyer's agent in regards to getting the home inspection scheduled. Okay. Now, what is typical is that a home inspector will come out to the property. They usually need 4 to 5, 6 hours in the home, so you need to vacate the home while they're there. Okay. So they come in. They're going to go on the roof. They're going to go in the sub basement. They're going to be everywhere. Okay. Make sure that access to the crawl space is available. Make sure that access to the attic is available, okay? If it's in a closet, you might have to take some jackets out or move some shoes. Just make sure that those are available, okay? They're also going to be doing a sewer scope most of the time. A sewer scope's when they take a little video camera and they put it down the sewer line, so they make sure that the sewer line is in good condition, okay? If you know where the access to the sewer line is, please let us know. Sometimes they have trouble finding them. Sometimes they're outside, sometimes they're inside. And so if you know where that is, or you could make a note for the home inspector, that'd be super helpful. After the home inspection, they may come back and want to do bids. They may want to find out if the sewer line's busted, how much it would cost to fix the sewer line. If there's a leak in the plumbing, how much it would cost for them to fix this leak. Now, a lot of sellers ask me that they want to sell the home as is. They tell me a lot of things that are, that they've done to the property and that I should require them to be as is. Now here's the deal. In Oregon, all sales are sold as is once it closed. But during the actual process, even if we lower the price to tell them that we're not going to accept any repair requests, even if we do that and we tell them we're not going to accept it, there's a good chance they'll ask for it anyways, no matter what I say. So just be aware of that I can tell them, we can put it in writing and blood and ink and gold, and they'll still ask for repairs. It's just what they do. You don't have to accept them. You can say no at any point. The home, and they also don't have to purchase the home, right? They could walk away at any point during the inspection period, right? Once, let's say that they ask for the sewer line and the toilet to get fixed, and you say, I'm not fixing the sewer line, I'll fix the toilet, and they agree. That's the end of the inspection period, okay? So if financing doesn't go through, then they can get their earnest money back. But if the financing is fine and and the inspection period is over, that earnest money should belong to you. Now, granted, you sometimes have to go to small claims court to be able to get that money, but that is technically at that point should be your earnest money, and that's their skin in the game, the buyers, to be able to nail that down. Okay. So we negotiate any repairs. We get some bids. We'll get bids as well if we are deciding to do some work. I want to let you know right now that you do not have to accept any of the contractors that we recommend. And in fact, I would prefer that you decide which contractors you want to use. That said, we have some phenomenal people that we've worked with, and we usually get some good discounts just because we do so much work, because we sell so many houses, right? That the standard seller buyer doesn't necessarily get. Okay, we do have to have licensed, bonded, and insured people that work on your home. Okay, it's we can't have people that aren't unlicensed or uninsured. So that's one of the catch-22s with that. We want to make sure that those people are that. And if you decide to have somebody do it, we want you to do that as well. Appraisal, right? Appraisal is when an appraiser comes out to the property and makes sure that the loan that the buyers are getting is equal to or less than what the home is worth. They don't want to be upside down. They don't want their collateral, the house, to be worth less than what they're borrowing, okay, or what they're loaning out. So it's really important that we let the appraiser come into the home, that the home looks as best as it can be, Sometimes they'll contact me, sometimes they'll contact you directly, sometimes they'll call the buyer's agent directly. I don't know when appraisals are, but what I can tell you that when an appraisal's ordered, it usually takes 2 to 3 weeks for them to even come out to the home. And then it could take 2 weeks for them to get it back. Also, a thing about appraisals is that the buyers are purchasing that appraisal. We, as the listing agents, do not get access to it, okay? And the only thing that they'll tell us is if it appraised. Honestly, what usually happens is the appraiser comes out to the home. They say, oh, we're selling the house, it's 400. Yeah, this is about 400. And it usually is exactly what the sales agreement says, okay? Rarely, but sometimes they do say what they really think it's worth. Most of the time, it's 400. If a bad appraisal comes up, a bad appraisal meaning that the house is under contract for 400, but it comes up, let's say, at 300 and the loan's 350, you have a couple options. The first thing is, most obvious, is to terminate the sale. The second is that the seller brings the price down. The third is that the buyer comes up with more cash. And then there's some tricks to the trade that you can do. You can reduce closing costs. You can, close up some time periods and, take a little bit of money here and a little money here, or, play with, oh, we got the refrigerator. And there's some plays with that. That doesn't happen very often, but if your market has a very, very low amount of inventory and homes are going for 10, 20, 50, 100, 200 over asking, 200,000 over asking, then appraisals can be an issue. So that's something to be aware of. And so if we get a really, really high offer, that's something to be aware of, that we might be worried about appraisals. Up to that, which appraiser we get is totally a mixed bag. I don't know which appraiser is going to be, because it's totally done. The lender chooses the appraiser company, and it's a mixed bag. They took that away during the recent mortgage crisis of the late 2010 or 2000s. Okay. So what happens is once the repairs are negotiated, if there are repairs negotiated, once those close out, I kind of step back. There's not a lot for us to do except for to make sure that the repairs are getting completed. The appraisal, we don't have a lot to do with the appraisal. We want to make sure it appraises. There's just not much we can do at that point. The next step is making sure all your documents are in, and then you go to closing. And someone, either myself or someone from my team, will be at your closing table. And we're going to make sure that everything that we wrote in the sales agreement matches to what you're actually signing. After closing, usually it's a couple of days, and then the home closes. Now, at that point, as per the sales agreement, when it closes, it belongs to the buyer now. Okay, and so you need to be out of the home by that closing time. You should be completely out. Now, some of my clients ask for what are called rent backs, where the home closes, but you are actually continuing to have. You're continuing to be in the home and be able to have it as your residence for a couple more days, to be able to make it easier on moving or certain timelines, or maybe you're waiting for another home to sell, okay? What's important to know is the home's no longer yours, okay? You are renting this home, and so make sure that it stays in the condition of which it was when it sold, because anything that happens to the home negatively after that moment is now your responsibility for making right. So make sure you take good care of the home, but because it's no longer yours, and we don't want to have any problems after the rent back. Another important thing to remember is that when you do leave the home, that you keep it, you clean it up, you make it as nice as possible for the next people that are purchasing the home. Okay, so that it's clean, it looks nice, it looks presentable, so that when they come into the home that they just purchased, they feel good about the process. We want to make sure that everything's a win-win, and if they allow a rent back, we want it to be a good process for everything. Of course, I want to point out to you that you can always pick up the phone and give us a call. If we don't pick up, we will call back within an hour. We're really good about that. You can call me, you can email me, you can text me. Also, a great resource is our operations manager here on staff, fully licensed. She does a phenomenal job at answering questions, and sometimes can be a little bit more available than I sometimes can. And of course, we have a team of buyer's agents as well, that if you're looking to purchase a home, that can help you with that process and answer questions for you too. I think that's pretty much it. If you, of course, have any questions, feel free to contact us, and I look forward to seeing the home close and be delivering you a nice big check.